back to the Stroke Thriver podcast. If this broadcast hits home, share this episode or others with a thriver, a caregiver, or a loved one who needs a steadier voice in their head today. So from the news, from our sponsors in the near future, that is. But right now it's me. But first of all, if you've been with us since our Stroke Folk show days, you know I've always told it straight. That's all I know. So today is no different, like every day is. But name update, mission the same. Helping people thrive after stroke, and helping caregivers stay steady too. Don't forget about them. Remember and tell your friends about this podcast. So the second thing I want to talk about is why I do this show or this podcast, and I've done it in various flavors and over 3 years. And the reason I've done this show is a couple of reasons. I want to share with you what's on my heart or my mind because I think it may help you. And also, I'm curious, and I love to share what I find with others, with you. And ever since I've been very young, I've always been curious, and I want to find out more. And the last thing is I practice. The first stroke took out my speech center, and for 2-3 weeks I couldn't really say much. And thank goodness, 16 year plus year later, I'm talking a little bit better. And I practice because I need to find the words when I want them. I need to say words that are tongue twist me, and they used to be fine, but now they're different. And so there's a lot of reasons that I do this, because way back when I was in outpatient therapy in the first year of my stroke recovery, I was graduating from my speech therapy. And my speech therapist said, you need to go out and speak with public. And I thought, what's he talking about? So I basically didn't really pay attention to her enough. And I, at least 10 years later or more, I started to get involved with the social media, and I realized that's what she means. I need to practice and practice again and again and again. And I think I'm getting a little bit better. And I've made reels for at least 3+ years, I guess 4 years. And I do it 2 to 4 to 5 times a week, and I practice. So you should do too. No, I shouldn't on you. Really, seriously, if you have some challenges with speaking or understanding what's being spoken to you, this is your opportunity. So third is about my books. What? Books? What? In November of 2024, I published my first book, Stroke Survivors First Aid Kit. It was compiled over the previous 2.5 years, I think, maybe. About 3 years. I was posting regularly on my website, and I realized there was enough there that I could share with you and with others in recovery. And I share with things. Um, um, I um, I I found that some people wanted to do what I did, and some people found that when I did something and it didn't work for me, then they saved their time. So that's what's cool. And then about 4, maybe almost 5 months ago, I published my second book, Word Search for Stroke Recovery, Volume 1, and that's the easiest, and there'll be harder, so to speak, as I get them, as I get Volume 2 and Volume 3. And I did that because when I was first in the stroke recovery, um, I needed to find a pairing between what I saw and what it was, what it meant. And so by finding the words in here, I started to reconnect them again with my vocabulary. So hopefully they help you too. And so that's books. And if you want to find out more, you can go type into your browser tinyurl.com/stroke-books, and it will pop up. So then the next thing is about my designs. And when I was way back when, I always thought of myself as a stroke survivor. And I was in a focus group for stroke patients, and the director was doing his introductory comments, and he kept calling us stroke survivors, stroke survivors, stroke survivors. And it just hit me. I don't want to be just a stroke survivor. I want to be more. And I thought about it, and I realized I'm going to be a thriver. And I even went so far as to I use the different spelling. I don't think it is now. It is. I wrote it like survivor, OR. That's why I put THRIVOR, because I want to make a statement for you and I to go out and be and thrive. And so if you can use it to tell others, hey, I'm a thriver. And I went so far. I've got others to design these for me, and like this one is a gnome, like the characters, like the little elves. No one fights alone. Stroke thriver awareness, and that's why I want to get it out there, because if you let's say you buy one and you wear it around and you see someone and they say, hey, what's this about? Strokes thrivers. And it gives you two opportunities. First, you can talk about you're doing more, and that's important. And second of all, it gives you an opportunity to talk about stroke prevention. And you can talk about all the things to be on a lookout for the signs. So that's and if you want to check out them, you can go in your computer or your phone or your tablet and open a browser and type tinyurl.com/stroke-designs, and there it will be for you. So anyways, and the last, remember when I talked about it several, like 8 weeks ago or more, I learned that you and I change when our words, our brains and bodies, and actions all line up over and over. You do it repeatedly, like Jeff says, and it's important. So after the strokes, I was told to rest, do the exercises, take the medications, and show up for my therapy. That's when I was out an outpatient. That was the all the things I needed to worry about. But the team, they were good. The care was real. But no one pulled me aside and said, Brent, distress is a physical force in your body now, right now, and is working directly against your recovery. Man, if I would have known that, I would have taken a little different take and a little different approach to my recovery. And that conversation needed to happen, just like it needs to happen for you or people that you love or you care for. So for me, for every thriver sitting in a rehab room right now, wondering why progress feels so slow or is so slow. So here's the unfiltered version. Last week, we dug deeper into something most stroke recovery plans completely skip over. So when you are in a chronic state of distress, which most stroke patients are, because a stroke is terrifying and recovery is exhausting, right, Jeff? And there's uncertainty. It never fully goes away. Your body is producing cortisol. That's one of the hormones of distress. Lots of it, round the clock. And cortisol, when it stays elevated too long, doesn't just make you feel bad. It does worse. Now, the cortisol hormone and others are part of the sympathetic nervous system, part of yours and my nervous system. It's the flight or fight nervous system. So it suppresses, when it goes on chronically, it suppresses the immune response, slows tissue repair, disrupts sleep, and keeps the brain locked in a threat detection mode rather than growth and healing mode. Now that's fine when it's short term, for an hour or so, but when it goes on for days and weeks and months and years, that's a problem. Because when you're locked into that and when you become programmed, that's not how the body was designed to function. So your brain cannot wire new pathways and guard the gates at the same time. It has to choose. And chronic distress makes the choice for you. And it chooses survival over recovery every single time. That's huge. So please understand, you don't mentally or consciously know, but you have chosen survival over recovery, and that's a problem. So this isn't a character flaw. This is just chemistry. It's how the body was designed to work, and the chemistry can be changed. So Mark Sisson, I used to love him, used to post every day for like years but he has moved on to that. But he was the founder of Mark's Daily Apple, and he was one of the sharpest voices in ancestral health, um, uh, looking at this idea of we've been around here a long time, but he wrote something that struck me. He said that our hunter-gatherer ancestors probably spent most of their daily life in what we would recognize as a meditative state. Huh? Not because they were formally practicing anything, but because they simply had far less noise to battle. Hear that. They simply had far less noise to battle. We have to battle lots of noise, both normally and after a stroke. So no notifications were lighting up every 30 seconds, no dread of what's the insurance company decided, no lying awake wondering whether the affected side was ever coming back all the way. Who knows? But what he was describing was not a technique or a trend. It was the nervous state, the nervous system state condition, a physiological condition where cortisol drops and the brain stops firing distress signals and the body can finally do the work it was designed to do, including and especially healing. So it's like when the deer is grazing, that's important, without any predator like Sparky, my faithful dog, around. They do that. So that state, the relaxed state, is available to you right now. Huh? What? You do not need an app. Believe it not. You do not need 45 minutes of silence or a meditation cushion or a monk on a speed dial. No, you don't need any of those. You need a door into what actually works for your life. There's many paths in. So, for example, formal sitting meditation is one of them. Powerful for a lot of people, but it's only one path, and it has never clicked for. If it has never clicked for you, stop forcing it. I wasn't a meditator for years, and now I do. Probably have for the last 2.5 years, but it's because it works for me now. So the other is breath work. It's another path. Box breathing, 4 counts in, hold for 4 to count, let go, out for 4, and hold for 4 before you breathe again, is one of the fastest known routes to activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It's paired with the sympathetic, but it's the one that the deer are grazing. But the rest and repair state, that's it. 4 seconds per side. In, hold, out, hold. That's it. That's why it calls it box. That is the whole ask. And if you can do it for 5 times at a pop, maybe you try it 3 times a day, golden, because you have clicked in your parasympathetic nervous system. So, Jeff, you can get on board if you just do it. Anyways, you can do it in the reception room when you're waiting for your doctor. You can do it in your car before you walk into therapy. You can do it right now listening to me. Don't tell me. So journaling is another path. It works for some Thrivors. not rehashing every frustration, because that's a problem. That actually keeps the nervous system fired up. Your sympathetic system kicks on. Try writing 3 things that went right today. They probably did. They did, because you're alive. you were breathing. You maybe even got up. Those are right things. So you may have to set your bar a little bit lower. So sounds too simple, but it's really important because when you're doing these things, you're doing journaling, you're not thinking about the things that cause you distress. So the neurological effect on an anxious brain is anything but simple. For example, gratitude, when practiced deliberately, shifts your mind's attention filter. Over time, the shift becomes its new default. Basically, when you have anxiety or gratitude, you can't have both at the same time. So let go of anxiety. Try it for 1 minute. That's it. Try to practice gratitude. And if you notice it helps you, do it some more. And you notice that anxiety makes you feel more stressful, do it less. It seems simple, but sometimes the simple answers we don't like because we're used to the chronic distress. All right. Time in nature is also can be the way of the path. It doesn't get enough credit for it. But if you have a garden, or if there's a garden nearby, a front porch, sunlight on your skin without an agenda attached to it, your bare feet in grass. I know maybe you can't walk, but maybe you can take your wheelchair to the edge of the path, and then you can take your shoes and socks off, and you can put your feet in the grass. So this isn't an optional wellness extra for people with extra time. They are inputs your nervous system has been expecting since long before hospitals, rehab schedules, and insurance paperwork existed. Nature does not require anything from you. That's the point. You can just be. And then the other thing is the prayer and faith-driven stillness belongs here too. And there's lots of research which backs that. And I will not quietly skip past the way a lot of health content does. Placing your recovery in God's hands, not as resignation, but as an active partnership, is one of the most documented stress regulators in research. That's huge. So the body follows what the spirit believes. You or I, it does. So when you release the grip of fear and step into trust, something measurable happens in the nervous system. Did you hear me? It does. This is not sentiment. This is science catching up to what faith already knew. So you don't have to master all of these. Just to pick one and try it. It was engineered for it, and the simple, most important. You do not have to be perfect from day 1 or even day 30, but by picking one and consistently picking one, at least for a short term, give it 5 minutes today, then 5 minutes tomorrow, and stack those days and watch what happens to the recovery. And not just your body, but your whole sense of what is possible. So again, your body wants to heal. It's engineering for it. The single most important thing you can do right now is stop flooding it with the chemistry of fear and start deliberately, consistently, give it the chemistry of calm. Let your parasympathetic nervous system come out. This is not a motivational poster. This is your recovery science. So share this episode with someone who is fighting hard but still running on fumes and in distress. Sometimes the right information at the right moment changes everything. Say it below which of these paths into calm has worked for you. Or which one are you willing to try this week? Let me know, Jeff. And go deeper at Thrivors.com and bring a friend who needs it, wants to hear this. And gratitude and remember, you're a thriver. That's V as in victory, O-R. See ya.